Hey guys, this is my first cichlid ever. His name is Reaper. He's about a year and almost 2 years actually. He's probably stunted because he was kept in a smaller aquarium, and now I have him in a 37, which is very temporary. It's just for the next year till he reaches another couple inches. Then we're just going to go big and go home and get a good 100 to 150 gallon aquarium. What I'm going to do is I'm looking for another fish to go with him. I don't really want to breed him. I don't have anybody to buy the fry, and I really just don't have the time to deal with it. So I'm thinking Jack Dempsey, especially the electric blue Jack Dempsey I'm really interested in. Or an Oscar, any kind of Oscar. I really don't know what else can go with him. He's been all by himself pretty much his whole life, except for algae eaters, these Chinese algae eaters I used to have with him. But when I moved back from Louisiana, they died on the way, and he's been solitary ever since. A year ago, I bought a Chinese algae eater, and I stuck it with my red tetras, or minor tetras, red minor tetras, or something like that. And I let him grow up because he was just a little bitty thing. Well, luckily, I put him in that aquarium and not with my cichlid because he had ick when I got him and killed a bunch of my fish. So now he's about the algae eater, he's in there. I don't know if he's seeable right now. Not really. But he's about, I don't know. He's like the same size as him in length. He's just a lot smaller. And this guy right here, looks disproportionate, but there's a 37. So you can kind of think he's probably about, my fish right now, my Reaper, my Green Terror is about 5 inches from the front of his nose to the end of his tail. So he's really not that big. I'm pretty sure he's a male. I've had a hard time figuring out the differences between males and females. There's really not a whole lot of information on this fish in particular. It's really hard to find. And the only people that do have any information are kids or people that are literally just reading Wikipedia over and over and over. It's like, dude, get some information. Let us know. Like, there's just so many people out there that have these fish because they're becoming really popular. And we need to know more about them because the aquarium or the pet stores are selling them as a fish that can go into a 50 gallon. Like when I bought this guy in Louisiana as a little inch-old thing, I bought him as a tetra. They didn't even know. He had jumped out of the cichlid tank because he was all by himself. He was the only one. He jumped out of the cichlid tank next to the tetra tank. He jumped into the tetra tank. And I bought some tetras, and it ended up, I got him on accident. Like total accident. I wasn't even supposed to get this guy. I didn't even want a cichlid. I didn't even know anything about cichlids. I didn't even know how much I was going to like them. Well, now I absolutely love them. He made me fall in love with the breed or the species or whatever it is. See, like I said, I don't know much about them. I'm still learning. This is my first, what I would call an aquascape. I've learned everything off of YouTube and other people's videos. So what I'm hoping to do is take this guy and inspire myself to get more information on the species and to also make better videos, aquarium setups, habitats, whatnot, and what have you. I'm pretty much going from horse training for 20 years into the aquarium hobby on the side because I am limiting myself with the amount of horses I'm training. And so this is just kind of my side. Like you can see, it's not perfect yet. I don't have the background on there. I'm just really picky about my setups. I want them to be realistic. I don't want it to be like hard to maintain. I know I got a lot of plants in there for him as he's probably going to tear that shit up, but look, it gives me something to do. I'm literally that bored in my life that I need to have an aquarium to garden once a week. You know what I mean? And this is my guy. This is my favorite fish in the world. He's just the sweetest thing. He follows me around. Like if you look and bring my finger over here, he watches. He's like checking me out. He's really interactive. It's funny. So don't judge me, but that's the bad setup. Don't judge me. So he was in that aquarium on the right. It's a 10 gallon, and he's been stuck in there for I don't know, a year. He literally was in a showing aquarium. It was just enough room for him to turn around. But even as bad as this is, look, this aquarium, you can't see it that well, is covered in algae. I mean, it was just horrible. Really internal filter, a little tiny heater, 10 gallon substrate with no rock and nothing. And this fish went into here with a 1-day cycle I used. I'm going to be making a video on my cycling process. He was put in yesterday. I put the water in this tank the day before. pH levels are correct, nitrates, everything's correct. I really don't even know enough about the numbers to even judge. All I know is I put them in, my system worked. My system has worked with like every fish I've ever had. So I had to kind of do a little research on the internet about cichlids and the numbers and kind of figure out the pH levels and this and that. And once I got that down, then I just took my own process and I decided, well, why not, man? Why not make the aquarium hobbies even better? It's kind of what I'm going to do. So everybody, this is Reaper. I'm MelB. I'm going to be making more videos. Hopefully you like this stuff. Hopefully this stuff will help you because I have found for a person like me, there's just not enough information out there about not only this kind of species of cichlid, but bigger species of cichlids. I like the monster cichlids. They have personality. Oscars, wolf cichlids. I'm just doing a lot of research. I'm finding these are awesome fish. They are a pet. They're not like a little tetras I have over there or a beta even. They have no personality. They swim to the top because they see you feed them, then they swim down to the bottom and sleep. Like that's a beta. You know, tetras, they look like cows. They kind of run around, or deer or something. They're kind of just like their eyes are all wide open and they're scared of everything. This guy right here, when he was in that aquarium, I brought the box into my room and he freaked out so bad because of it's a PetSmart top fin, 37-gallon tall aquarium. And I put it across the room from him. I mean, it was like 10 feet away from him. And he was flipping out. He was so observative that change in his scenery, in his bedroom, this is his bedroom, by the way, just so you know, this is not my bedroom, this is his. Everything that goes on here is authorized by him. So when I brought that aquarium in, he flipped out. And I don't mean for a few minutes, for almost an hour, to the point where I got really worried that he was going to like go into shock or something because they're very sensitive. And he likes mirrors, you know, he likes to see himself. So I can tell he watches things. So I took the aquarium out of the box because it was really upsetting him. He was trying to jump out of the aquarium. He never acts like this. This is his usual behavior. Very sweet, very inquisitive, very nice fish, very calm fish. He's one of the not so aggressive types. There's different aggression levels in these fish. And he couldn't handle that box. Well, as soon as I pulled out the aquarium, he saw the glass. It wasn't on a desk. It was on the floor. He was so inquisitive. It was like he wasn't sure what it was, but it wasn't as scary as the red box. Well, a couple days later, you know, I work full time. I have horse and I have a dog and I have chickens and I have these guys. I got a lot going on, to tell you the truth, but it's what keeps you busy. And I took a couple days and I put the aquarium up. Well, for one, I needed to know like what kind of, I'm really not that prepped. Okay. So like my thing is I'm trying to learn how to get into aquarium stuff, but I don't like to go small. I don't want to spend a bunch of money either because a lot of the stuff is overrated. You pay too much for it, blah, blah, blah. I needed to know for a couple days, well, what kind of, I didn't even know how much this aquarium was going to weigh when I filled it with water. I had to research everything. Turns out, you know, these resin ornaments, these are all resin ornaments. They take up so much space in the water. So these ornaments right here get rid of almost 100 pounds in water. Between these 4 ornaments, I have this big tree. This is an extra large top fin tree root aquarium decoration from PetSmart. That is the rock from PetSmart. It's like a little rock thing. It's $13.99. Those are $32.99, $28.99 online, $10.99 online. This was $9.99. This is, shoot. I didn't do it. Okay, anyway. Here, let's go. Okay. Hi. Blonde moment. Okay, anyway, where were we? So that's the driftwood. I don't even know what that one's called. Honestly, I couldn't find it when I went back to PetSmart, so I'm thinking they discontinued it like right after I bought it because it has a big hole down and right underneath of that. So that's why I have it in the substrate. But if that algae eater goes and gets in there, he's dead. He's going to get stuck in there and knock it out. So I'm probably going to plug that up. I'm just too lazy right this second, and I don't feel good today. And then this one is actually from Walmart. Don't judge me, but when I got him, he was little bitty tiny. And like I said, I bought a bunch of tetras, and he was picking on him, and I didn't even know he was a cichlid yet. I think it took me 2 weeks to realize he was a cichlid. I didn't know. I didn't even know what cichlid was. And so I bought this thing because he was chasing the little guys around. Well, it turns out he inhabited this and then just sat there, and this was his territory. And that's when I realized he wasn't like the other fish. And I went back to the aquarium place I got him at. And there they had these cichlids. I'm like, oh, those kind of look like this fish I got from you guys. I came in and I was like, I got a picture of him. And I took it to them. And they're like, oh, yeah, he was an accident. He was actually brought in on a shipment. He was wild caught. This is a wild caught South American green terror cichlid. And it was totally accidental, but they didn't, you know, it was Louisiana, tiny little pet shop, owner run. Maybe had one employee there at any time. I mean, they really didn't, it wasn't like PetSmart or anything. And so I didn't care. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make the best of this. I didn't even know what he was going to look like. Well, oh my God, when I started doing the research, oh, I was just in love. But I was concerned because I wasn't sure if he was a male or a female, you know, at that young age. And there's no, like I said, there's not a lot of information. So hopefully as I learn more, I'll be able to make more videos, and it's not going to be just like, oh my God, listen to music and see my fish. Like, I could care less about that shit. I care about the species, aquascaping, biotopes, rocks, or hardscaping. I love the ideas of that. I like natural environments for fish. I don't like the whole idea of putting a fish in an aquarium anyway. I think it's bad. I mean, there's a lot of different varying opinions on it. That's just mine. So if you're going to stick a fish in an aquarium, why not make it as realistic for them as you can? I know they probably don't know the difference, but hey, you know, why would you not want to replicate the natural environment? The natural environment for him is pretty similar to this. I'm not saying this is perfect, but it makes a huge difference in how quickly they adapt to their new aquarium setup. Trust me, it's a huge thing. If you put this fish in blue gravel, okay, and oh, I don't know, let's say like some barnacles, got some coral reef stuff. Hey, let's even throw in a lily pad or two in there. Oh, and by the way, I want to put some psychedelic, you know, definitely want to put in some tie-dye background on this thing. Now, I'm not saying that's probably going to happen, but if he did, I bet you he probably wouldn't feel as comfortable brand new into his tank as he does with this. And I know this like totally ghetto. I love that little flower thing I did right there. And then I did this little hanging vine. But like I said, I don't even know enough about aquariums yet. All I know is his natural environment. I've done a lot of research recently on the species in the wild and in domestication. Again, there's only maybe 3 videos on all of YouTube on this species of fish in the wild. Like, they don't, it's very understood. You know, not understood. It's this fish, I want more info on this fish. If you have any info, let me know. Feel free. And hopefully we'll get more action at you guys. Later.